They say crossing your legs as a goalkeeper is the quickest way to lose your balance, but what they don't tell you is that it's also the fastest path to those top corner saves. In today's video, we'll not only cover the basics of goalkeeper footwork that you need to know, but I'll also give you some practical drills that will not only give you quicker feet, but transform you into a better goalkeeper. And hey, don't rush off too soon. I got a surprise giveaway you definitely want in on, but more on that later. There are ultimately two footwork techniques that you need to know as a goalkeeper. There's the side shuffle, and then we have the crossover. But before we dive into which technique to use when, let's first make sure that you always start in your keeper ready stance, or as we goalkeepers call it, our set position. So before you start moving, get on your toes with your knees shoulder width apart and slightly bent. Have your hands in front of your body and make sure that your body weight is forward by leaning forward just a touch. So now that we sorted our set position, let's kick things off with every goalkeeper's go-to technique, the side shuffle. And one common mistake I see a lot is goalkeepers starting their shuffle with the wrong leg. If you start your shuffle with your trailing leg, in this case your left leg, it will make your stance too narrow, and if the striker shoots while you're in this stance, it will be very difficult for you to dive in any direction or to save any ball really, unless the shot is straight at you. So we always want to start our shuffle with our leading leg. So if we want to go to our right side, we should be leading with our right leg. We want to put weight on our trailing foot and transfer that weight onto our leading foot. And another common slip up I see is goalkeepers taking two big steps when shuffling. This will not only slow you down, but it is also very difficult to push off and generate any power into your dive. So we should always aim to take short, sweet and sharp steps, because when we use controlled footwork, it means that we're in a balanced position and we're always ready to spring into action, whether that's for a diving save, change of direction, or reacting to an unexpected situation. And to practice this, try using a resistance band around your ankles. This not only helps in maintaining the right distance between your feet, but also adds a slight resistance, making your muscles work a bit harder. And this extra effort helps in building the strength and agility we need for those quick, explosive movements in the goal. And if you're looking for a way to level up your goalkeeping faster than you ever thought possible without wasting your time on ineffective drills, then check out the link in the description. But for now, let's get back to the video. And speaking of movements, have you ever found yourself shuffling so much that when it's actually time to make that save, you're not quite in your solid set position? Because when you're in constant state of movement, it means you might not be set when the shot comes. In other words, when the ball is moving around, whether it's a dribble or a pass, you want to be moving too. But as soon as the striker has the ball under control and is ready to shoot, you need to stop, get set, and ready to save that ball. Even if that means that you're slightly out of position. And one way you can train this is to set up some cones across your goal, simulating how you move across your line. And if you have a partner, you can have him dribble the ball inside your area. You can follow him and stop every time he gets ready to shoot. But if you're training alone, you can do exactly the same. Just make sure to stop in your set position at every cone. So to quickly sum up the side shuffling technique, always start with your leading foot. Don't take two big clumsy steps, and make sure that you're set and ready to save the ball when the striker is about to shoot. And now I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever experienced any of these goalkeeper side shuffling hiccups? If you have, please drop your experience down in the comments, and if you have a drill or two on how you fixed it, drop them in as well. Let's all learn from each other. And now that we covered the side shuffling technique, let's talk about a much more controversial technique, the crossover. And like many of you, I was taught from a young age that goalkeepers should never cross their legs. But let me show you why the crossover technique can be very effective if it's used correctly. So if we simulate a situation here where we're in the perfect position to either help our team cut out the cutback, or to save the shot. But instead of shooting or passing the ball is locked to our back area. Now we have one mission, and that's to get from here over there as fast as possible. And what many goalkeepers do in this situation, they start running, but doing that often leads to an awkward backward dive with you ending up in the goal and not really giving yourself any chance of saving the ball. So instead of running and diving backwards, let me show you what you should be aiming to do instead. You want to open up your hips slightly and then cross step your way to the back area. Let me show you how this looks like in real time. So I open up my hips and I cross step and I'm ready to save the ball. I'm in my set position. I can dive this way, I can dive that way, and I can even react to any situation if you should take another touch. And if we compare the same situation to the side shuffling technique, you'll notice that it can still be fast, but it's not nearly as fast as the cross step technique. So as you hopefully understand by now, the cross step can be a very powerful tool if it's used correctly. And something that's not much talked about is that the cross step technique can actually be very effective if your goal is gaping and the striker only really has one place to shoot. Because in these situations, we just need to get as close to the shot as fast as possible before we dive with everything we have and hope for the best. But be aware, you don't just want to be cross-stepping all the time. If you do that, you'll soon notice that you'll be in a lot of trouble. Because if you're using the cross-step all the time, it can leave you very exposed to unexpected shots, especially if you're moving or leaning one way and the shot is in the opposite direction of the goal. Yes, you can get lucky and the striker might hit you, but eventually your luck will run out. So what you want to be doing instead when you have to cover a lot of ground fast is to take one cross step and then transition into your side shuffle. This combo helps you cover a lot of ground quickly and also readies you for any unexpected shots. So let me quickly show you how this looks like. You open up your hips slightly, you cross step, and then you start side shuffling. And one very simple drill to train your cross step technique is to simulate getting into your position for an angled shot and then cross step across your goal and back again. And you can also train your cross step into your side shuffling technique by doing exactly the same drill. But remember, there is no one size fits all in goalkeeping, and especially not footwork. It's all about making the right decision at the right time, and that is something that you will become better at with experience from games and training. But as a rule of thumb, use your cross step for speed across longer distances and stick to the side shuffle for general goalkeeper movement across your goal. It keeps you ready for anything, ready to get set quickly so you can dive to either side and react to any situation. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten about the surprise giveaway that I mentioned in the beginning of this video. I am giving away 2 pairs of the same gloves that I use for matches. They come in black and they come in white. And what I can say about these gloves is that they are extremely grippy. And these are my training gloves. I've been using them for about 2 months. And you can barely see any wear or tear on them. And all you have to do to enter the competition is to tell me where you're watching from, and also if you rather have the black edition or the white edition. I will be announcing the winner in my next video next week, so make sure that you're subscribed to the channel to see if you were the lucky winner of one of these beautiful gloves. And now that you know everything you need to know about how to move in the goal, it's time for you to learn all the high diving techniques that will not only impress your coach, but everyone else watching. So click this video and dive into these high diving insights based on my 20 years of experience.